All right, good afternoon, everyone. I think we're going to get started here. I'm Jonathan Wesser. I'm the Director of Innovation here at 5-Star Professional. Thank you for taking some time to be with us. We'll try to be respectful of your time and keep it to about a 15-20 minute webinar. Got a couple of really important things that we want to share with you, and certainly hope that you find them valuable. This is going to be our first webinar in a series that we're doing around featuring just some of the best practices and knowledge that our team has been able to glean from the advisor network that we get to work with around the country. So I think there's some valuable insights in here, and I hope you find them to be valuable as well. So what we're going to do today, this is all centered on the theme of volatile markets, and I think volatile is probably a fair description of where we're at today. I don't think that's a surprise to any of you. Our team has heard a lot about the challenges that advisors are facing right now with these volatile markets, that clients are more or less nervous about all the uncertainty, and for many, if not all of you, you're no stranger to that type of environment and that type of uncertainty. But I do know that it creates a ton of challenges. A lot of your time likely has been taken up with fire drills, doing damage control with these clients, and really just trying to tackle that uncertainty head on. And certainly volatile markets can take a large toll on an advisor's capacity and the time that they spend on those fire drills as that uncertainty starts to erode a little bit at client loyalty and confidence. So I hope what we've done is put together some key learnings that we believe will help you thrive amid that uncertainty. And I think we've identified some specific examples from our award winners around the country that you can put into practice. So with that, we'll get started here. Volatile markets, I think everyone's natural instinct is to gravitate towards the risks that they create with your clients and client loyalty. But the flip side of that has to be true. With those risks comes certainly some opportunities to grow your client network and get in front of some new audiences as well. So we have three key learnings that we've learned from the 5-Star network of our outstanding wealth managers. Number one is how to stake your claim to an area of expertise or specialty, how to refine your value and repeat that message in effective ways, and why that's important. I think the big piece of that is the why, so we'll jump into the why. And this third key learning of stop working. That one may sound somewhat inflammatory. I promise you there's a point to it, and we'll get to that. So I wanted to share a quote with you that actually came out of just a recent study that we did with some of our advisors here at 5-Star Professional. The only thing worse than an advisor you can't get a hold of is an advisor who has nothing to say when they do pick up the phone. And I just think that's such a great quote. It's some good insight. I think all of you are very familiar with all of the studies out there on how poor communication and lack of response from advisors are some of the leading causes for dissatisfaction, and 60% of clients would be willing to leave an advisor if they weren't able to get prompt communication. I think all of that obviously is well and good, but beyond that, it's far more damaging to have nothing to say at all, which leads us to our first insight that I think we've really come to learn as we've surveyed our advisors. That insight is stake your claim. Stake your claim on a specific area of expertise. Everybody on this webinar right now is certainly demonstrated expertise within the industry. You're all part of an exclusive group of award-winning advisors, and one of the most important recommendations we have is that you share what your expertise is, and you stake a claim of expertise, and you build a strong personal brand around that focused expertise. And I guess to be clear about what I'm saying, this is not a generic value proposition, a generic value proposition that often will blend with many of the same common messages that your clients are going to hear from other firms and other advisors. But instead, it's a real focused expertise. The claim should be unique to you. It's often going to be related to your education, or perhaps to the type of clients that you work with, or even better yet, the innate skills and experiences and value that you're going to bring to the client relationship. So many of our award winners are focusing on, for example, specific financial needs of certain groups of clients, like women or millennials. Some of our winners are talking very specifically about their expertise in different financial strategies. We have a client that talks a lot about downside risk strategies that other advisors are not utilizing. The importance, I think, is identifying something that's unique to you. It's a focused expertise, and it's certainly well worth some honest reflection and investment of time. I'm going to share an example. This is an example of one of our winners. His name is Mark Truitt. He actually wrote an editorial piece that appeared in Forbes magazine on the intersection of family, faith, and finance. As you can see, that's a very specific, intentional area of expertise. Specifically, what he's trying to get at is folks, trying to help folks, with their charitable giving and their wealth transfer strategies. It's not a generic value proposition. He's very specific about what he's trying to help with. In fact, in his Forbes appearance, he actually promoted a book that he wrote on this very area of expertise. If you talk to somebody like Mark Truitt, you'll see that every client conversation he has, every new prospective client conversation he has, he hones in on this very specific area of expertise, and he builds his brand around that. For many of you, this is not going to be your area of expertise. Again, it's something that has to be unique to the advisor. We took a look at a Wall Street Journal study that came out that found that only half of investors would stay with their advisor if the advisor left his or her firm. This quote to me just speaks to the importance of why somebody needs to stake a claim around their expertise and a specialty, and why they need to have a strong personal brand that backs it up. I think it's shocking to me that over half of investors would actually choose the convenience of not switching login information on a firm website. They would choose the convenience of not having to file new paperwork to follow the advisor to a new firm, to not adjusting to some new reporting platform. All of these things they would choose over sticking with the person that has been most responsible for their financial outcomes. To me, that's fascinating and just speaks to the volume of, if you're going to be a successful advisor, and our advisors would tell you this, it's so important to build a strong, credible brand centered on really speaking to your unique expertise and your unique value that you're bringing to that client relationship. I think obviously once you establish what that unique expertise is, it's very important to refine that value and continue to repeat that message by giving clients a clear, concrete, memorable reasons to stick with you. I go back to that Mark Truitt example. Not only will you find that his expertise is clear and concrete, but you're going to find it plastered all over his marketing materials. You're going to find it as a centerpiece to his day-to-day conversations with clients and prospective clients. Again, I'll pull out a stat or something that we got from Pusateri Consulting Group. The director of that group, Giles Kavanaugh, he cites research by behavioral economist Amos Tversky that found that consumers will pay a premium for certainty while discounting uncertainty. So I just want to pause on that. They're going to pay a premium for certainty while discounting uncertainty. That's pretty problematic for the people in your world. Like doctors and other members of the medical field, advisors inherently have to deal with very uncertain outcomes. That uncertainty obviously is only amplified in times of volatile markets. So our recommendation from our award winners is that to counterbalance that uncertainty, I think it's very important for advisors to stake their claim and their personal brand around the certainty of their unique expertise and specialty. At the end of the day, that is what you are able to provide, is certainty around the expertise and specialty that you focus on. Here's another quote from that same Wall Street Journal study. The average advisor actually communicates with the client probably about 6 times a year, so I'll let all of you do the math and fact check that against your own experience. But over 80% of survey respondents think about their portfolio monthly. So many of you are, I probably don't need to bore you with all of the stats and studies that are out there that talk about a client's number one concern and reason for leaving an advisor is poor communication and the disconnect. We call that here the client expectation gap. And I think that this gap has a tendency certainly to widen in times of market volatility, and that widening gap leads to investors with wandering eyes and open ears at cocktail parties because they're wondering, in those times of uncertainties, they're looking around to see, are they truly with the right person? Are they truly getting value from their advisor relationship? So again, volatile markets, I think they're either a risk or an opportunity depending on your visibility during that time. It leads us to kind of our last insight here, the stop working insight. And I know for many of you this may sound counterintuitive. It's very easy to get trapped in the office, trapped analyzing data, trapped in the building. Really what some of our award winners are telling us that is you need to continue to do what you've always done now more than ever. Those things that have made you successful, establishing those relationships, cultivating and sustaining authentic relationships that others can't, proactively going out and intentionally expanding your sphere of influence. Sometimes for many of you that may be expanding your sphere of influence among affinity groups, Girl Scouts, faith-based organizations, golf buddies. I think any genuine group that you can go to and you believe that you can provide value to, that you believe your unique expertise can speak directly to, I think positions you well. John Quelch, he's a professor at the Business Administration School at Harvard University. Writes, it's well documented that companies that increase advertising during a recession when competitors are cutting back can improve market share and return on investment at a lower cost than during good economic times. I think there's a tendency, not only among advisors, this is probably a tendency across industries and businesses, across many sectors. There's a tendency to withdraw marketing and communication efforts during these volatile times. And I think I would encourage you, and our award winners will encourage you to grasp onto your message of differentiation based on expertise and based on your status as part of this exclusive group of award-winning advisors will be bolder, it will be louder as your competitors withdraw their marketing and communication efforts. So now more than ever is a time to obviously capitalize on proactively and intentionally expanding your sphere of influence. And I want to share, I guess, a very specific example of how one of our award winners was able to do that. I won't read the quote to you. I'll let you read it here. But the story goes as follows. Many of our clients, once they become an award winner, will specifically target either affinity groups or spheres of influences or new strategic partners that they want to get in front of. Congratulate others that are award winners, for example, as you see here in the testimony, and find ways to strike up a new strategic partnership. You'll see in this example, this person was able to bring in some new business and several new clients as a result of that. Five Star has a lot of examples directly from clients and the letters that they've used to successfully cultivate and secure some of those new strategic partnerships. So that's something that at the end of this we want to make sure we pass along to you. I think that about covers it. So what we want to do at the end here is leave time for questions. If you do have questions for us on some of these best practices and some of these tips, you can use the chat box and the chat feature at the top of the screen. Type away. If we don't get any, here's what the next steps would look like. We want to make sure you get a copy of our best practices white paper. We also want to make sure that you're aware of your opportunity to take advantage of a special offer for all webcast attendees to appear in the Wall Street Journal. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, you can see my contact information. I'm Jonathan Wesser. You'll see my email address right there at the bottom of the screen, and certainly encourage you to do that. You can also email questions there as well. So again, thanks for taking time to chat with us today. Wanted to obviously make this real quick and hopefully found some useful tips for you. Obviously, in times of volatile markets, again, there's certainly risk, but there's a lot of opportunities out there as well, and hope that you're able to find ways to utilize the 5-Star Award to Strengthen your brand, your personal brand. Reintroduce some stability with those client relationships, and certainly perhaps get out and capture some new market share as well. Thank you.